are back for season 2. Two friends in the movies, Matt and Sixot. Do you know why your name goes last?
Why?
Because you promised since episode 2 that we were going to have a theme song.
Oh shit! You know, I have the theme song. I've never sent it to you, so it's like not having it at all.
So
it's even worse. I have the theme song.
So that means you'll always be second now.
What?
Yeah, because you promised a theme song and you made a theme song, but you just forgot to use the theme song.
Well, okay.
So we're gonna start season.
Let me start by saying.
What are you gonna start with?
I don't have the theme song, so I should go first.
You don't
Actually, I have the theme song, so I can make me go first as soon as I put it in the theme song like that.
We're just never gonna air it because you're never gonna bring it. We're gonna make a stand. We're gonna be the themeless podcast.
All right, I like that.
We just start cold. we hit the ground running. We don't have time for a theme song. We have too much to say.
Too much to do. Too much to say. Anyways,
we're gonna start season 2, much like the way we started season 1. Unfortunately, talking about
the best movie ever made. Well, the best series of movies ever made.
No, we're not talking about Freddy Got Fingered and the rumored sequel.
Or The Godfather.
We're talking about Star Wars.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, let me say. Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
God damn right.
So,
let's start by let's start by you praising this movie.
I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah, no, you're gonna praise this movie, and then we're gonna move on and be like, all right, man, this movie's awesome.
All right, that was our 5-minute podcast. Movie's good. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow. So,
is the movie not awesome?
The movie was not awesome. The movie.
Oh, fuck.
So let's.
Are you starting?
We'll start with a grand vision, and then we'll pinpoint it as we go along. But the movie,
as a grand vision, is visionarily awesome.
Now, I don't know if this was originally in the books and they just cut it out for the movies because they couldn't fit it all in.
Newsflash: there are no books.
Was there any books on this?
No, George Lucas just created Star Wars.
I thought there were books on this.
Yeah, that's what you thought because it's that fucking good. But the truth is, there are no books.
Okay, so that makes it even worse. So it was never planned. They were like, after the fact, you know all those plot holes, like when they go to the Death Star they just go down that one little path and they just kill it.
So your problem is these people saw a movie that was created with a little bit of a deficiency by the writer of it.
Plot holes.
Yeah. Deficiency. Major plot holes. And by the way, I mean, I never, to be honest, Empire is the only movie that will defend to death because Empire is the one that is like... Gaping
plot holes.
But now you have people that say, all right, we can actually fix this.
Who says this?
Well, whoever is in charge of Star Wars now.
Disney.
Well, Disney can go out and be like, we're going to fix this.
So that's all it was now. So we're on the same page that this movie.
So, but you're having a problem. You're having a problem with a movie that's not only action packed, really well acted, doesn't have anything but good parts on it that make it fun. Once again, I'm not talking about The Godfather 2 because I'm talking about a movie that's actually fun and is actually doing a great job at taking something that already was kind of awesome if you were 7. But now that you're in your 40s, you kind of have to say, like, come on, man. They have a little fucking toilet hall on the Death Star and nobody fucking figured it out. And now they fix all of that and you have a problem with it.
Yes, because all they're doing is saying, hey, you know all those movies you loved? Well, we really fucked them up. And all these things that we just made happen because we didn't have time to tell you how it happened. Well, here's a movie that tells you all the boring parts about the stuff we figured wasn't good enough to be in the original movie.
As a matter of fact, let me be clear on this. Not only as a Star Wars fan, as a movie fan.
A movie.
I would have been just fine.
We all would have been.
Without Rogue One.
We all would have been.
But now I'm fucking 600 times better with Rogue One.
I mean, I'll give you, seeing how those things happened was interesting.
Of course. You're the fucking guy that wanted a stormtrooper movie about one fucking
But
stormtrooper.
listen, I got more to say about these stormtroopers. By the way, we'll get right back to that. But it was a 5-minute movie.
He's not no 5 fucking
Listen. It was a 5-minute movie where the father, instead of just sacrificing himself, decided to build a giant Death Star anyway and kill those towns that they all killed, and ends up killing Princess Leia's planet. Instead of just going, yeah, you just kill me, he builds the Death Star anyway. But he puts a secret plan in, just in case his daughter, that he hasn't seen in 15 years, remembers the nickname the father used to call her, goes to that
God, that's your
special
fucking beef?
data
So wait
place.
a second.
Wait, no, I got more. Goes to the special data place, finds the file, sends it to Leia so they can kill the Death Star.
Okay.
5-minute movie. And I stretched it. That could have been a 3-minute movie.
So your beef
Is that nothing happened?
Is that what?
Nothing happened.
What are you talking about?
Everything that happened, you know what happened.
Yeah, but that's the point.
What's the point? I don't want to watch a movie. I know what happened.
But you already knew that the moment you got into the fucking seat.
I thought it was going to be something special.
How the fuck? It is something special.
It wasn't.
Oh,
it
Christ Almighty! Let me explain this
it
to
was
you
just
because
fight
you just full of hate in your heart. You have no heart.
No.
No.
See, I'm a rare breed that wants a story along with his fight scenes.
But there is a story.
There's no story.
There's absolutely a story.
It's the same exact story.
It's the exact story.
They've been doing this. This is the 8th time we told this story.
What the fuck are you talking about? Where is the other Star Wars movie where they steal the plans to the Death Star and they tell you exactly how the shit works?
But you know how that happened because that's how they did it.
My point, and let me be very clear with you right now.
Not just with me, with the 3 people listening at home.
I'm gonna tell you and everybody listening at home. Fucking goddamn it! This is a movie that took something that was almost irrelevant because I kind of knew that something happened back there and somebody stole the plans because Princess Leia had them, and as a matter of fact, as a kid, I thought Princess Leia stole them. I always thought that actually, not until a kid, until I saw this fucking movie. And now they give you not only adventure, they give you a full story with likable characters, with shit that actually fucking happens. You're talking about a 3-minute movie.
A 3-minute movie.
Shit happens
3
in this movie where
minutes.
people, and there are fucking, and there's weight of what might happen and what are the consequences of what's going on, and you still unhappy just because. What is it that you want? I don't understand. Explain to me.
I want a story that's more in depth than everything we already know. That isn't
out of your fucking mind. There is no Star Wars in any Star Wars. There's not even Star Wars in the cartoons that gets as in depth as this fucking movie about something that happened in another movie. You're fucking out of your mind.
You knew it happened already.
But I don't care. But I got to see it.
But what's exciting about knowing?
What's exciting
what
is that
the
I got
ending
to
is.
fucking see it. You knew what the ending was, and then you still watched it. Then you got Darth Vader fucking kicking ass.
Who cares about Darth Vader?
Of course you care about Darth Vader.
Nobody cares about.
Let me ask you this: why were you afraid of Darth Vader in the first movie?
I was never afraid of Darth Vader.
Exactly. How about now? He's a fucking badass.
I'm not afraid of Darth Vader now.
The fuck? He will fucking mind throw you into a ceiling and cut you in half.
It's like,
he doesn't care that you have.
We have a semi good movie here. How do we make it great? Like, put in Darth Vader, put him in the teaser, and every stupid Star Wars fan is like, oh my God, Darth Vader's back. I gotta go see it. And what happened? You went, oh my God, Darth Vader's back. And speaking of Darth Vader, who trains the stormtroopers?
Military bases.
How come they're the worst fighters in the world?
What are you talking about?
They're always outnumber the rebels by 2-1, if not more, every single time.
It's called guerrilla tactics.
And they lose every time.
But they didn't lose this time. Their own government.
Why do they wear those suits?
Why so that they can be easily targeted and shot.
They don't protect them because as soon as they hit once, they die. Why are they wearing those bright white suits?
Because in space, nobody can hear you scream. I really don't understand.
It's fucking stupid.
It's not fucking, but it's been set there since 1976. What do you want them to digitally change the color of the stormtroopers and make them sand?
But make the suits do something. Like, That shot didn't hurt me because I'm wearing this protective white suit. Why else would I be wearing this bright white suit when I'm going into battle?
Because it's space, motherfucker. Have you ever
Space
been
is
to
black.
space?
Why would you make the color that stands out the most?
Let me explain
space?
to you, because I've actually been to space, because I have a fucking imagination, unlike you.
Yeah, he's been to space.
Yeah, I've been to space through Star Wars. I flew those ships. I fucking was in there with
I think he was just in the sky.
Let me just say, those guys fucking look badass because they're white, and you're thinking white means like something pure, something nice. Meanwhile, these guys are coming in here to kill your ass. And
no, they're not, because every
they
time
are.
they fight, they die.
What the fuck are you talking about? The beginning of Star Wars, what happened?
They die.
How did they die in the beginning of Star Wars? They killed everybody the moment they got into that hallway.
They never killed anyone meaningful.
Oh, fucking for fuck's sakes.
They're poorly trained. They're poorly outfitted.
They're not. And let me give you this. I'm gonna give you this so that you shut your fucking mouth right now. Let me give you a little piece of information that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Right. Finally, something that makes some sense.
All right. In New Hope, Star Wars 4, New Hope, first Star Wars ever to come out, all the stormtroopers
are Jar Jar Binks.
Are not Jar Jar Binks. But they're shooting at these people when Princess Leia escapes the prison, right? And they can't hit nobody. And then they escape to the garbage chute, right? And then they go down the garbage chute, and then Han Solo encounters, originally it was like 5 of them, but then encounters like fucking 200 in the remake, whatever it is. And they can shoot him. And then you have all of these stormtroopers all over the place missing their shots. But think about this. What was the point of the Millennium Falcon escaping the Death Star?
I don't know. Tell me.
Finding the secret base on Yavin 4. Fuck you. That was not only precise shooting, that is perfect shooting. That shooting that makes you think that you're going to die, and really what they're doing is scaring the fuck out of you.
Who trained them? I want to get...
I don't know, some general somewhere.
They all stink.
They don't all stink. They're perfect soldiers.
Where are they getting all this money to build all these massive ships? Who's funding the Empire? Funding the Empire?
The fucking Empire. They have a ton of planets.
But where they get this money from? Who's
from
paying
all
for
those other planets? If you're a slave planet from the Empire, they're like, yo, make me some fucking stormtrooper suits and shut the fuck up. And then you go to another planet and you go, make me some fucking starships and shut the fuck up. And then you go to another planet and you say, all right, you know what you're gonna do for me? You're gonna shut the fuck up and you're gonna build me whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna train all my soldiers in your ground. They're actually,
see, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
If all these dumbass slaves are making these ships and these suits, that's why one shot always kills them.
But that does make sense. But I don't think one shot just kills them.
Every one shot that kills them.
But that's in every fucking movie.
And not even. The blind guy just hit him with a stick and they were done.
They were not dying.
They couldn't get up again. They're like, oh, the stick.
Out.
Oh,
Yo,
no.
have you ever been kung fu sticked?
I'm sure it hurts, but if I'm wearing a giant thing of armor from head to toe, including a helmet, if a stick knocks me out cold, we got other issues. This is why the Empire's losing, because their fucking armor is a piece of shit.
Let me tell you something about that armor.
They should stop worrying about the Force and start worrying about... Maybe they should call Roger Goodell up and see. Maybe they can come together or something that can stop getting hit in the head.
Listen. You getting hit with a guy that somewhat controls the Force. It doesn't matter if he hits you with a stick. It doesn't matter if he hits you with a lightsaber. It doesn't matter if he doesn't hit you. You're getting knocked the fuck out.
Listen.
No, you listen. And those guys are fucking... It doesn't matter. Look, your whole theory about stormtroopers, bullshit. Those guys did their job exactly how they were supposed to. Those guys, every time they show up, whenever they need to show up, except against Ewoks, which doesn't make any sense. But... I don't care what you say, dude. They fucking it just.
Yo, they're always dying.
But I don't understand what you want from these movies. You want them to be like Saving Private Ryan, but in space?
Yeah, I want a story.
Well, you had a story in Rogue One.
If you're gonna make 12 movies,
now let me ask you
all about the same thing.
Tell me your Rogue One story. Tell me the one you wrote.
I didn't write a Rogue One story. Because you don't need it. Because it's irrelevant. You don't.
But it's not irrelevant. It's one of them. It was one of the biggest questions for any fan ever in the history of Star Wars. Is how the fuck they got those plans?
Yeah. So you know what you do? You make a 2-minute movie. Princess Leia.
The fuck you making a number? Who wanna watch a 2-minute movie?
No, you put it 2 minutes in the movie. Hey, Princess Leia. Remember when we got those plans? How'd you get them? Oh, this is how I got him. All right, good. That was a nice story. Let's move on.
So what do you want Rogue One to be? No movie?
Non-existent.
There is something wrong with you.
Money grab.
This is a movie that
was a
action,
simply money grab.
It had likable fucking characters. It had an interesting plot.
Money grab.
It had an idea in which you have this lady that actually it has all this fucking emotional weight from a lady that hasn't seen her father in 15 fucking years. Seeing him dying and being like, fuck this fucking empire. I'm going to kill everybody. You know I'm going to kill everybody? I'm going to blow up the fucking Death Star.
Why did he make the Death Star in the first place?
I don't remember. But he had a reason.
He wasn't an honorable man.
But he said he had a reason. He said that if I didn't build it, somebody else was going to build it. That's exactly what happened. He said, the only thing that happened with me building the Death Star, the reason why they wanted me specifically, is because I will build it faster. But if I didn't build it, anyone else would have built it. But if I build it, I give you an in to blow it up. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not story. That story right there, a guy that sacrificed his entire life seeing his daughter so that he made sure that the shit that he was building to destroy planets actually specifically had a weakness without having you go build it and make it perfect.
But the weakness is
so small,
so
that you
specific, but not just so small, but so specific
right.
that only the daughter, who he hasn't seen in 15 years, had to remember what her father called her when she was 6 years old.
Well, what do you want? He sent a message to her.
Listen, bullshit.
What do you mean bullshit?
Listen, what they did.
You are so. I am not gonna give you this. I am not. I don't give a fuck about this episode 7. It's just like episode 4. I don't give a fuck. This movie is actually great, and this movie has everything that you need. It has a reasoning for everything. No, you didn't think because you don't have a fucking heart.
No,
you know what's wrong with
because
you? You don't have an imagination. You don't have a spirit that tells
you
I'm in space. What do you want? 2001 Space Odyssey, where everything's fucking boring and you're running in a circle, just going around and around and around and around until the computer gets really smart?
No, it was not needed. It was a money grab.
It's not a fucking money grab.
It's a money grab.
What movie is not a money grab? Give me the movie that's not a money grab. Give it to me. Give me one.
I don't know. Moonlight.
Moonlight is a fucking money grab. It
wasn't made simply.
It's a money grab. It's tailored specifically for black gay men that understand what it's like to be black and gay in an environment that does not accept you.
No, you're. I think you're confusing money grab and making something for profits.
The fuck you?
This was simply made.
This movie was
to take money out of your pocket.
But he did it in a way that is fucking entertaining. I don't understand. Yes, grab my fucking money if you're gonna give me a movie that I actually like. I don't understand what grab it all my fucking money. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you my bank account. Don't even fucking tell me. It's gonna be empty all the time. Except every time I go to the movies, I get to see a Star Wars movie that's new. You are out of your fucking mind if you're telling me that this movie doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It works.
If you're going to make a movie, and if you're going to put Star Wars on a pedestal, that is this great series that no other series can compare to.
Yes.
You need to keep up that legacy. And I feel this movie didn't keep up to that legacy. This movie was simply filling in all the holes that they didn't have time for. Correct. Or they cut out, or they didn't think of.
They didn't think of
whatever
Lucas
the reason.
Is not a good writer.
Why they didn't put this in the original movie.
So what you're telling me,
and which is a cool idea. And the concept was a cool idea to see how they did it. They took 5 minutes of story and stretched it to 2.5 hours.
But you give me because that's fuck. That's telling me that a movie like. I'm gonna tell you what's 5 minutes of story and it's stretched out. That drummer movie, what's it called?
Oh, I didn't see that movie. I know what you're talking about, but
that movie
with the bald guy,
literally 10 minutes long. Literally.
Well, I didn't see it, so I can't comment. But I take your word for it.
I'm telling you because that's a 5-minute movie.
Okay, but I can't comment.
But it doesn't matter. It's not a 5-minute movie, but it's a 20-minute movie, and it's ended up lasting 1.5 hours. Bullshit. This movie had everything that it needed to be a full movie. It had interesting characters once the fuck again. From the robot that you're not supposed to even like, had fucking personality to spare.
Yeah, but they
You
always
actually
make a
felt
robot
bad.
like
you,
that.
You felt bad from the robot dying.
I didn't feel bad.
Yes,
for
you
the
did
robot.
feel bad. You felt bad. I mean, I'm not saying you cried. What I'm saying
There's
is that
always
was
some
sad.
stupid
Oh,
robots.
for the love of God, everybody dies in this fucking movie. It's not even like
Yeah,
it's
because
not even like I'm telling you like
these
the robot
characters-
died and then you're like, well, it's a throwaway character.
But they're
Every
all throwaway characters.
But
They were
that's
all
the
throwaway
point.
characters.
It's a movie that has not only throwaway characters, which you're right, but it makes you actually care about these throwaway characters, and they are throwaway because they're all supposed to
Listen,
fucking
a
die.
movie full of throwaway characters is a throwaway movie.
It's not.
Every character
actually
in that
took,
movie.
It actually took characters that are exactly throwaways and make you care.
I didn't care.
Yes, you care.
Halfway through, I was bored.
You are full of shit.
Near the
and
end,
you don't have
near the end, it started getting good again. But halfway through the movie, I'm like, all right, I get it. I know where you're going with this. Let's just get
to it. So there's no.
It didn't need to be 2.5 hours.
So you don't think that her seeing her dad dying had any weight or any
No. Like I said, it started out good.
Mm-hmm.
The middle really dropped off. You can't say that movie needed to be 2.5 hours.
I can tell you right now that movie didn't feel like 2.5 hours.
It was 2 hours and I think 15 minutes. It was too long. It did for a story.
All right, so cut
with
it down.
Zero surprises.
Cut it down for me.
The halfway point, all gone.
What's the halfway point? Give me the halfway point.
Give you the halfway point.
Tell me what you're taking out so that I can shut your fucking bullshit down.
I stopped paying attention because it
You
got so boring. So I
you know
can't
what your
remember
problem is?
the exact
You know what your
scene.
problem is? You have no imagination.
I have
so the
imagination.
moment is about something fun that's in space that is actually interesting. You're like, well, you know what? This is not The Godfather Part 3.
No.
The Godfather Part 3. That's what you want.
No, I don't want that.
Yes, you do.
It's hard to have an imagination where this could go and what they're planning when you know the answer already.
But don't you understand that even though you know what the answer is? Look, Titanic. And I'm not saying I like Titanic because I actually fucking don't like it at all.
Titanic.
You don't love Titanic.
Masturbate to Titanic.
It's not true. Well, I do. I masturbate
You
to the
do.
boat. But
to Leo on the boat.
Who doesn't masturbate to Leo? What I'm telling you very specifically right now is
Right now, not later.
not later and not before.
But to you guys listening, it will be
right
later
now.
because it happened already.
Titanic, you know the ending. That's fucking 6 hours. How long is that movie?
It's
10 hours?
I don't know, too much.
And
Garbage.
And then I can tell you, I would agree if you told me, look, you can cut this shit down and get me to the point that really matters. But at the end of the day, they're building story. You can say that about any fucking movie. And meanwhile, while Titanic is the highest grossing movie of all time, I can tell you right now, half of Titanic, half of it is fucking unnecessary.
Yeah, because most of it's a love story that's
Unnecessary.
It's completely unnecessary. But I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm going with at least this movie did not have, even though you feel it had throwaway moments.
45 minutes of throwaway moments.
There's no 45
45.
minutes. You
This
are
movie could have been an hour and a
insane.
half, and even not stretching it. It was 5 minutes of story you had.
It's not no fucking 5 minutes. Number one, they have to get her because she's the connection to the plan. So you have to show me that. Then she gets the plan. So you have to show me that. From her getting off of that of Yavin 4 to her finding where her father in Jeddah to getting the plans from Forrest Whitaker. Oh no.
You didn't need either of the Death Star strikes. I guess you could show one of them to show this is what the Death Star does. But we all know what the Death Star does because it already happened.
But the first one is showing you not only that the Death Star is operational.
But we know it's operational because in the movie.
But how do you know that? You didn't even know this was 3 minutes before the other movie until it ended.
No, you did the whole time.
How did you know the whole time this was 3 minutes before the other movie?
As soon as he says, I forget where it was, but there was a weakness built in, and that's where they're looking for the plan. You knew it was right before they destroyed it.
Right before?
Yeah, because they.
Bullshit. I thought this movie took place like 3 years before the
No, you knew it. Well, maybe when it started.
Know. I knew.
But a half hour into it, when you know what the point of the movie is, you know it has to coincide with them destroying the Death Star.
Let me
He
explain.
didn't have the
something to you.
plans for a year and a half
let
and
me-
just hold on to him.
Let me explain something to you right here. Let me explain something to you right here,
Right here.
right now.
Right now.
You are full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
And
This movie is full of shit. And you're
only-
all sad
not
that I'm
only-
pointing it out to you.
I'm not even. I'm actually fucking angry that you're talking shit about this movie. Unlike the other one that I actually gave you some points for, like being very similar to A New Hope, which I have to agree because it's true. But I'm defending the fact that it's some not necessarily some of the same, but repeating themes. I get it. Our argument can be argued from either side, either way. But in this one, you are full of shit. And not only are you full of shit, you don't even fucking know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
Nothing throwaway about this
If
movie.
everyone dies, there's not one meaningful character. If everyone is dead.
No, it's meaningful because they're dying. It's called fucking sacrifice. I'm gonna tell you a story. Let me tell you this one story, and then you tell me if death is not worth it. It's a story about
A boy and his dog.
a rabbi that walks around telling all other rabbis this shit doesn't work anymore, and then he tells his boss, "Listen, what's going on here?" His boss tells him, "You gotta die, homie," so that everybody. That's Jesus Christ story, and it's the best-selling story in the history of mankind. Don't argue with me.
You were off the rails with
I
this
am
one.
not off the rail. This guy had to die for that story to make sense. In the same way, these guys had to die for this story to make sense. It doesn't make sense that they steal the plan and they sacrifice everything to get this plan.
That's not the story.
But that is the story. The story is that they sacrificing their life to get this plan because it's more important than their goddamn lives. It's more important than the fucking
part
robot.
of the
It's more
story.
important than her. It's more important than the only Mexican in space. There's one Mexican in space. One. They killed him. They killed the one Mexican. There's only one.
Listen, this example you just said is just a part of the whole story.
No,
It's a part. It's not the entire story. There's a lot of other things that happened.
No, what's happening is let's get this girl. She connects us to this guy. In the connection to this guy, we have the information that we need. Now, in the information that we need, we know that he needs to be grabbed, and we have to have it. You are out of your...
I'm timing you to see how long the story is. we're at 35 seconds.
No.
We got 35 seconds of a story so far.
What
and
the
we're
fuck are you
and we're
talking
halfway
about?
into the movie.
But you have to build it.
But
you have to build it. If you tell me the story that you want is, hey man, this is the story. It's a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah,
hey
no,
man.
no. You
Yes,
know what
it is.
let
Hey,
me
hey,
tell you.
man.
No, let me get you. Let me tell you what would have been a cool plot twist that no one would have saw.
What's the plot twist?
That the girl sells the shit to Vader and turns on him, but somehow someone else steals the plan and sends him to Leia, because Leia's got to get him at the end because the other movie's ready to play that. But the whole movie you're thinking, no, seriously, the whole movie you're thinking that this girl is full of good and has no hate and only wants to be, fight for the rebel side. We're so honest and good. What if seeing her father do that shit just made her angry and was like, you know what? Fuck all these people. I'm going to help Vader. That would have been like, oh shit, son. This bitch just flipped the script. But no, you didn't get that. You got the same bullshit that happened at the end of every stupid movie where the good are good and the bad are bad.
So what you're telling me is you have one version of this movie that, I'll grant you, could have been more interesting. But then what you're telling me...
Point one.
What you're telling me is, while I've spent this entire movie on this girl that's a fucking troubled soul, that's all she is, actually redeeming herself to the point, and it's not redeeming herself as a person to everybody outside, but redeeming herself as her connection to her father, forgiving her father, understanding that everything that he did was for an actual reason, and that she actually didn't have to hate him or feel abandoned by him, but she could understand this shit is bigger than me. And then sacrificing herself to grab it is a lesser story than her turning into a fucking bitch. That's what you're telling me.
No, it's not a lesser story. It's a different story. Because we've seen the self-sacrifice over and over and over again in Star Wars. Luke does it. Rey does it. They all fucking do it. It would have been cool to see someone not do it. Someone go, I hated my father for 15 years, and he pulls
because of these motherfuckers.
He pulls this shit. You know what? Fuck him, Vader. Here you go. Now give me his ship. I'm out. It would have been cool to see something than the expected happen. I think maybe that was my major qualm with it. Everything happened the exact way you expected it to happen.
But I don't have. I mean, look, I can't argue, and I won't argue that you're right. That would have been a much interesting story. I'm not going to argue that. But the problem is that.
Point two.
My point is that this was incredibly good, just as it was. So that you're saying that it could have had a twist that made it more interesting. Of course, it could have.
But see, I can't agree with you totally. Standalone that had interesting parts, and like I said, some of the parts were cool to see how the puzzle fits together, and some of the characters, some of the fight scenes were cool.
But then, can you give me?
I didn't need to see the same story again. I've seen this story 8 times.
Where you seen the story?
When Luke did it.
What did Luke do?
Luke's self-sacrifice, and I will never turn to the dark side.
That's not self-fucking-sacrifice, bitch. That's him telling his father, I don't give a fuck what you did. I'm gonna listen.
That's it. That's giving up his family to help the side of good.
They know family. He never knew his dad. His daddy not present.
She didn't know her dad.
And then when he was white, I love you so much.
She didn't know her dad either.
Bullshit.
He left when he was 6. If my dad left me when I was 6, I'd have very little memory of him.
Or you'll have a mind to be like, my father left me when I was 6, and this has ramifications through my entire fucking life.
And now that I'm 20-something years old, he just pops up. Oh, I've been here the whole time. Why didn't you find me by now?
Yeah,
I would have been pissed. I'd be like, you've been alive this whole fucking time, and you waited till I was 28 years old before you said anything to me? I've been missing my dad
technically 22.
This whole time. And that's it. You just pop up. Hey, sorry about that.
Bullshit, dude.
I feel like a more natural reaction would be like, fuck that guy.
No, absolutely not. That is why this is surprising. Because a more natural reaction would have been for her to be like, fuck you, fuck the rebels, fuck everybody, I'm out. And instead, she did the one thing that most people wouldn't do, which is
unless you're a Star Wars hero, then you're going to do the exact same thing everyone else
not
did.
A Star Wars hero, unless you're a hero, which you're obviously fucking not. Because your reaction will be, fuck everybody, I'm going to go make money out of this. And when you do that and you fucking betray the rebels, I hope they find you.
Listen,
I hope they do.
That's what the world is.
They shoot you 20 times. Exactly. That's what the world is. And then you have the one person that's actually doing the right thing and be like, instead of turning my back, it was turning his back on me, I'm going to turn the other fucking cheek. I don't understand what your fucking problem is.
But why? Why did she do that?
Why not? Because she's better than you. That's why.
Why?
Because she's better than you.
Where did she learn these values from?
She learned these values from sacrifice for her father dying in front of her.
So instantly?
Maybe not. Maybe it's always been.
It had to be.
Seeing sacrifice from everybody around her, and she understands the value of sacrifice.
I'm just saying.
You're just saying you want the flip.
I want something different than I've seen over and over again.
What you've seen.
It was the exact. Star Wars has. I'll give it to Star Wars. They have a system that works. They make the same movie over and over again, and it just works. It's like Bar Rescue. You can watch Bar Rescue 1,000 times, and the 1,001st time you watch it, you're like, yo, this shit is still good. Because it's just a system that works. And if you put it at that, and you say, yeah, there's a system that works, we start with a troubled kid, the parents weren't around, they were always misunderstood, and then now we're fighting, and they're training, and we're going to be good, and then a good influence enters their lives, and they have a reason to be good, and they fight for good, and then they save the day.
But that's the problem. She has no reason to be good. She has every reason to be selfish.
No, she has a reason to be good when she meets her.
What's the reason?
That she meets her dad, and her dad's like, "I've been sacrificing my entire life to make sure that this doesn't work the way it's supposed to." And in that moment,
she understands this sacrifice is worth it. So I'm gonna continue your sacrifice.
But she fought all the way to get to that point. She could just been like, "Yo, I'm good."
But that's the part that I have a problem with. I understand the beauty of an anti-hero, and I get it, and I really do. I understand the beauty of a twist that's more realistic, like in
a twist?
Like in I don't know, like in Inglourious Bastards, where you have the one fucking guy that can get you in and he dies. I get that. What I don't get is you are talking about a chemistry in which she turning into a hero is actually the sacrifice you would like to see, and it makes you hope and it makes you feel better.
But
I just don't
seen
understand.
it.
But
You've
I don't
seen
care.
it
But
over and over
you're
again.
never going to stop seeing it.
But that's what I'm saying. I personally wanted something a little more, especially since they took their name off. This wasn't Star Wars episode whatever. This was a side story that has nothing to really do with the main story going on. That's a good opportunity to do something different. Like, okay, none of these characters really matter in the grand scheme of the Star Wars series. This is a one movie thing. All these people are going to die anyway. You're
Right.
never going to see them again. You could have done something different. And this was a really good opportunity to do something different than every single movie. What are they up to? Number 9, number 8? How many have they done?
So if you counting that one,
Yeah,
it's gonna be the ninth
one.
now.
And all 9 movies are the same movie.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I personally would have liked to go a different route than the same basic outline that it's Bar Rescue. Is they come in and the bar's a mess and Taffer yells at them and then they get mad and they yell back and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to clean up the bar. And then they clean up the bar, they make a new bar, and everyone's happy. That's Star Wars.
What's the problem?
There's no problem. It works, obviously. It makes millions of dollars. It's got tens of millions of fans. It's just, like I said, it's a system that works.
Okay, so your problem is
I was hoping
you wanted a movie about somebody turning into a terrorist.
No. That was just the first example I threw off the top of my head. I wanted a movie that was a little different than the other 8. It's not a little different. It's the same thing.
It's not the same fucking thing.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It is.
It's absolutely not.
It is. It's a misunderstood kid who finds his way.
But that's the basis of one character.
That's the basis of the movie. But she's to make the without that character, the movie doesn't exist. Same thing. She's got family problems.
I'm
she's
gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
She's got an older person.
Full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
And number 2, you don't get it because you obviously have no heart. You don't have a heart.
I have a heart.
Your 2 daughters, God bless them, they're so beautiful. Have a daddy
gorgeous
that doesn't understand what the fuck is going on.
There's a difference. There's a difference between not understanding and not liking it. I understand what they did, and it's a system that works.
How could you not like this movie?
It's a difference
driving me fucking nuts. How could you not like this movie? There is everything to like about this movie. This movie is the Saving Private Ryan of Star Wars.
I've seen it.
I've
seen it 8 other times.
You're gonna see it 800
I saw it 8 other times, and next winter, when the next one comes out, we're gonna have the same exact conversation.
Hold on. So you're telling me
for season 4? Watch out, coming to DVD.
You're telling me episode 1 of Phantom Menace is the same as, I don't know, episode 6.
I want to. I don't have that good memory of episode 1 Phantom Menace
because it's not the same fucking movie. They're not.
I'm
the same
sure it's
movie.
similar.
There's no similarity.
It's a system that works. It's a basic outline that works, and the parts are just interchanged. All right, instead of Luke Skywalker, we got this guy. Instead of Luke Skywalker, now we got Rey. And it's just interchangeable parts. All right, now we're going to do the story over again, and now it's this person's turn. It's a good story that's been told too many times.
I swear to God, today is the day.
Too many
Today
times.
is the day I'm gonna stop talking to you.
That's it. We're ending the podcast.
It drives me nuts that movie that's so likable and fun. For you, it's just missing that it's some of the things.
Well, then don't call it Star Wars. Call it.
Oh, what do you want me to call it then?
Something.
Star Trek.
Call it something different if you want to make it something different. But it makes sense to the genre. It makes sense to the overall series.
This is what my offer
Star
is
Wars.
for you. This is what my offer is for you, Matt Lamatina. Sit down at home, open up the same laptop we're recording on,
Right here.
and write your own fucking movie in which the good girl that's been looking for her father her whole life has a turn of heart and he's like, fuck everybody.
You know
and
what?
then solve that.
And
then you make that movie because you are not making a Star Wars movie. What you're making is the Matt LaMattina Sherry movie that everybody's going to like because it's actually a good idea. But it's not.
No one would like it.
Of course. No. I would like that. I would have loved that.
The overall Star Wars fanatic would hate that movie because it doesn't follow the guidelines of Star Wars. It might be a more interesting movie, but it's not what people are paying to see. And at the end of the day, it's a business, and you have to make what the people want to see.
I don't think that's true. I think if you would have done that movie, and it would have been just as interesting as this one was in the parts that he kept, and then he has that twist in the middle of it, and then you give me a movie where they're actually rescuing those plants, I think people would have liked it.
I don't think they would like it much. You would have some people who might be entertained by it, but I don't think it would have as big as of a hit.
My problem is not that you have an idea that sounds great. My problem is that you're telling me this movie is the same as all the other ones, and that you're telling me that this movie is not that it's not good.
I'm not saying it. I didn't say it wasn't good.
Well, so you said that you just don't like it.
I said I didn't think it was. I think it was too long. I think. You lose halfway through the movie when you figure out what the ending is. You kind of lose a little bit because you know exactly where it's going to end up. You're not exactly sure how they're going to get there. But you have a real halfway through the movie, I knew that she was going to figure out the plans. She was going to find the plans. She was going to end up with a battle with that guy wearing the white suit. And she was not going to live. I knew all that 40 minutes into the movie. So for the next hour and somewhat movie, just get there. I know where you're going. Just get there.
You are so full of shit.
I'm not full of shit.
You're so full of shit.
You knew exactly what they were doing.
I knew. I knew at the end everybody had to die, but I just.
But you knew they were all going to die because you knew these characters didn't live up because you saw the sequel already.
It's a gigantic universe. Why do I have to see them again?
Because they're now intertwined. And they're never mentioned again.
Whatever.
They're throwaway characters because they were never.
And that's fine. Like I didn't mind seeing them die. So then, but then, what was in your version of this movie? Then what you're telling me is, she sells the plants to Vader. So now they have to rescue these plants, or at least she can sell the plants because she doesn't have the plants. But she tells Darth Vader the information that he would need to know that this shed is compromised, right? And then she can't reach him because by the beginning of episode 4, Darth Vader has no fucking clue that there's a fucking hole there that you can just shoot a fucking piece of shit into it and it will blow up the whole thing. He doesn't know it. So now the whole movie is them killing her and them going to get... That's a fucking waste of story.
I feel like this was a waste of story.
But your story is a waste of story because now they have to kill her and then they have to go back and just rescue the plants because they still have to get the plants.
But you knew... Yeah, but I'm saying that's what you knew the ending. So
what I'm telling you is your twist only delays the ending by another 40 fucking minutes.
Probably. And like I said, that's just what I thought off the top of my head. I didn't sit down and do a screenplay and a storyboard this bullshit. That was the first thing I thought of. It's just you knew the ending. You don't need 2.5 hours to get to the place where you know it's going to go.
And it's an exciting, entertaining, fun, funny... massively cool.
Bored.
2.5 hours.
Bored.
Because you have no fucking imagination and or heart.
Bored.
Bullshit, you were bored.
Bored.
Who did you watch this movie with?
My wife.
Was she bored?
A little bit.
Was she bored?
And she likes Star Wars.
Was she bored?
Not as much as me, but I caught her many times looking over at her phone and checking her Twitter or Facebook or playing her little
call your
game
wife
with
right now. Call her
the,
right now.
with the little
I want to
things.
hear this from her. Call her right now.
I can't call her right now.
Yeah, you can't call her right now because you're talking shit and bullshit.
I'm not talking
you're fucking
shit.
lying.
I'm not. Like I said, she wasn't nearly as bored as I was. She's a Star Wars fan. She likes it. And I think most people do, because most people, and I'm not one of those most people, as you've pointed out, my lack of heart time and time again. Most people want the happy ending, and want
that was not a happy ending.
Well, it was a happy ending because
there was nothing happy about it.
But eventually, they saved the day. Without this girl, the rebel forces never win.
Okay, but let me give you this. Any twist on this movie makes Darth Vader or the Empire know that the Death Star is compromised.
Yeah, so it doesn't work.
Anything else that happens in this movie.
You're right. It doesn't work.
So
because you know the sequel already. Well, I'm saying it doesn't work. I'm just trying to throw out other things because I don't think you need the movie at all. I think the movie, like I said in the beginning, is 5 minutes in the beginning of the next movie. You go, hey, Layla, whatever happened? How did you ever get these plans? And then she tells you how she got the plans, and it's over. And you don't need these 2 hours and a half of bullshit.
What my problem is with you is like this movie is an explanation that takes 5 minutes, but you're not explaining the whole fucking thing. You're not giving me a backup on this girl. You're not making me understand why she has a problem. You're not making me understand what the whole exchange between her and her dad is. You're not making me understand why Cashin.
But you don't need it.
Is sacrificing himself.
You don't need it.
Yes, you do.
This
is a movie that you're correct. This movie is a filler. It's a movie that goes between one and the other to makes you understand, hey, this is how they got the plans. And if you wanted to see that, congratulations. Here's a movie for you.
Yay.
But a guy like you that doesn't have imagination or a heart.
I have imagination.
No, you don't. You don't
That's
have
why
a
I don't
heart.
need this movie.
Oh,
because I have an imagination of how this could have happened already.
No, but your imagination says she compromises the plan, therefore making it known to everybody that the Death Star can be blown up by dropping a deuce into a little hole. And instead, what you got was an entertaining.
We don't have sound effects, so I have to make it up on my own.
You got an entertaining, fun, incredible movie that I grant you, it's not. Look, in the great scheme of things, it's it's not Saving Private Ryan, which is a war movie that you can fucking cry to.
Matt Damon.
But what it is,
it was Matt Damon. No one saw that coming. You're watching that shit. You're like, Matt Damon. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's true. But what it is
Matt Damon.
What it is a ton of fun, an exciting story, and you're right. It's not ultimately you don't really need this movie until you see it, because the value of the movie is not that they stole the plans. It's how they stole the plans.
You know,
and the sacrifice that they all made.
I got it. She's climbing up the tower. And first of all, why is that machine all the way so high, and then the other part of the machine is all the way on that little fucking catwalk that's 20 feet away? Why can't it just be on top of the other machine? But I digress.
You're digressing.
She's climbing up the fucking tower.
Right.
She gets shot
right.
as she's climbing.
Right.
She drops the plans.
Right.
She falls.
Right.
Matt Damon's on top. Picks him up. Saves the day.
And then they close up to his eyes and he turns into an old man.
That's it. Matt Damon. He saved the day.
I can't. Your argument is hollow to me, because the only thing that you're arguing is that you didn't want to watch the story because it's better for you to have just wonder how it happened.
I think we agree, but we say it in two different ways.
No, I think you're full of shit and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, because we both said that the movie doesn't need to exist.
But the movie does need to exist for me. It just doesn't need to exist for you.
No. It does.
You don't want to.
We're not talking about fans. We're talking in the grand scheme.
Oh, in the grand scheme, yeah.
The movie doesn't
take it. Look, if you're gonna give me a choice, let me do this.
I'm not giving you a choice, though.
If you're giving me a choice,
I'm not giving you a choice
between that movie and a movie about Ewoks.
Freddy got fingers.
Fuck the Ewoks.
Yo, your Ewoks save your day. Without Ewoks,
you're
all dead.
The Ewoks are
all
fucking
dead.
Annoying and stupid.
All dead. You're all dead. You're all dead without the Ewoks.
It's not true.
The Empire rules without Ewoks. Yo, Rey never happens because the whole Rebel Alliance is dead because the Ewoks didn't save them. Just saying. Give a little respect where respect's due.
Fuck the Ewoks.
But the movie doesn't need. It could exist, and fans of the series like it and want it to exist. But in the overall universe of Star Wars, the movie is unneeded. Because it doesn't provide anything, really. It's just a cool way to fill in the plot holes.
It is exactly what you need if you want to know exactly how those plans were gotten.
Yeah, but you don't need it.
Yes, I do need it. I want to see it.
It's cool. And the 5 minutes of the movie that's cool is cool. When you see, oh, they got the plans. Oh, they sent it to it was supposed to be like that, and they sent it to Layla, and that's just cool.
Leia.
But the other 2 hours and 8 minutes of the movie is unneeded.
Let's just call it what it is.
Shit.
You really?
Yo, I call it shit too, man.
You really?
That was Sixot. He was agreeing with me.
Why do I sound like a Muppet?
I don't know.
Anyways, you really the problem here is that
stinks.
You're
blinded by nostalgia.
No, it's not. This has nothing to do with nostalgia.
Star Wars. I love
Star Wars is amazing.
I don't care what's on it. It's Star Wars.
Now, if you would have given me, listen, if you give me another,
I ain't giving you anything. Stop asking for shit.
Listen, if you give me another Phantom Menace, if you give me another Return of the Jedi, which are movies that I find to have a lot of important pieces into it, but in the grand scheme of things, Return of the Jedi, is weak.
Like Rogue One?
No, not like fucking Rogue One. Rogue One is not weak.
Weak, son. With Zeke?
You're just annoying as fuck.
Yo.
Because you don't know shit.
I know shit.
You don't know shit.
I
You're
know
telling
shit.
me this movie that is actually fucking great, just because it didn't have the plot twist that you wanted, is a piece of shit movie, and that's not the truth. The truth is, this is a great movie that you just happen not to like.
He's getting angry.
If
you never see me again, remember this, folks. You can call it the Rogue One killing.
I will never get angry enough to kill you.
All right. Well, I think we've argued the same point back and forth long enough.
You're so full of shit.
This has been, season 2. I think it's a good start.
It's a good start when you say that it was a good movie. Say it.
We like beginning with a terrible movie.
Say it.
So we started this season with...
I really like Star Wars episode Rogue One. Thanks, Matt.
Like an Italian Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. I don't know why you sound like that when you talk about how much you like the movie.
I really think Star Wars Rogue One was the good movie, man.
There you go.
Get to the chopper.
There you go. See, you liked it.
So what do you want to talk about next week?
Sausage Party.
Sausage Party. Finally, we go to a good movie.
It's not good.
With interesting characters.
It's not interesting.
With plot twists.
It's not plot
with
twisty.
a hero.
It's no hero.
With a damsel in distress.
It's a shitty movie.
With a
it's a stupid
orgy
shitty
of
movie.
food.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this.
The ending was ridiculous.
A stupid shitty movie that happens to be funny.
Ridiculous. The ending was ridiculous.
It's funny.
You didn't see the ending coming. You didn't see the ending coming.
Except when I heard you say it when you were saying about all your top favorite movies.
But
by the way,
the ending is ridiculous.
Can I address something?
I don't know. Are you writing a letter?
I'm addressing it to you, to your home.
Yeah.
When we did our top 10 movies.
Top 10?
I had made a proper list that I was going to bring in of the movies that I loved.
It was proper.
Well,
I have this proper list.
What happened?
Shit. We don't have a button to bleep out sneezes. Bless you.
What happened was, thank you. What happened was I didn't want to wing it, but I know what my top 10 movies are.
You didn't want to wing it?
Wing it.
Wing.
I forgot the list, and I rewrote the list when we were here. And something...
It was not proper.
And it was not proper. Something failed me.
Something fatal happened.
When I was talking about my number 10 movie, Tombstone, I felt like that was my number 11 movie. And I was like, what am I missing here? Because something was missing. It's like talking about...
This is so improper.
It's like talking about your wife, and then you say, why do you love your wife? And you say, well, I'm not talking about your wife. I'm talking about...
Yo, stop talking about my wife.
No, I'm not, because I'm going to say something that I don't want you to
Now let's get Denise on the phone. What the hell is he talking about?
If you say, somebody asks you, not you, but...
Sixto's got 11 things he loves about you?
If somebody asks a person, why do you love your wife? Let's say it like that. And
why do you love your wife?
Well, she gives great head, and I like her hips. And then he forgets to say, and I love her because she's a wonderful person. If like that, that's exactly what happened with my top 10. Because my number 2 movie...
You're not good with metaphors.
I'm not. My number 2 movie is No Country for Old Men. And it has always been. And I forgot it because I wrote a stupid list. If I would have winged it and say it from the heart, I wouldn't have to be writing down a list.
That's why you need a proper list. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what you've learned from this is always have a proper list.
Let it be proper. Name it proper list.
When I went to go see Cloverfield in the movies,
right,
it was sold out.
Right.
So me and Denise and a bunch of our friends had to buy tickets to No Country for Old Men.
Best movie ever.
And then sneak into Cloverfield. Because Cloverfield was sold out, but anybody with a dime can get into No Country for Old Men.
Did you see No Country for Old Men?
Nope, we went to see Cloverfield.
But have you seen that movie?
No.
So you have no idea what I'm talking about?
I have an idea. I know the name of it because I bought tickets to it. But that's as much as I know.
You have no idea. That movie doesn't even have a soundtrack.
You don't have a soundtrack. Doesn't make you good. You don't have a theme song. What the fuck are you talking about?
Whatever. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for coming back.
Thank you. Season 2.
Season 2.
Blast.
I am hoping that we keep this going more
and more. We're gonna update the webpage. We're gonna get some pictures. We might even do a live event, maybe on Facebook Live or something.
Oh shit!
Where we could stream our podcast as we do it.
Yeah.
For the people who are around while we're doing it, and then we'll post it afterwards for people who have a job and can't watch it when you're sitting here.
So we're talking to the one fan we have, right?
Yeah. So we got big things on the horizon for the Two Friends in the Movie with Matt and Sixot podcast.
Yeah, man.
Look out for it. We're gonna have live shows. We're gonna have a theme song. We're gonna have pictures so you can see who the cute one is. It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
It's not you, man.
It's me. I'm the most interesting guy.
He'll be the one with the dorky Star Wars shirt on. Boy, remember Chewbacca? He talks funny. And I'll be the cool guy in the back, be like, bitch.
Fuck Chewbacca.
Yo, fuck that voice.
He didn't even get a medal.
Yeah,
why do you think Chewbacca didn't get a medal?
Yeah, because he's a hairy asshole.
Because they're racist. That's
they're
why.
like, get the fuck out of here, you animal. You're an animal.
He flies a ship.
Yo, if a blind person with a dog saves some guy in the train tracks, they're not giving that dog a medal because it's a fucking animal. But they're giving the blind guy.
But what I'm saying is, he flies a ship. He stops being an animal, right?
Listen, animal. He's a fucking animal.
Anyways, welcome back, man.
And see you later.
See you later.
Good night.
This has been Two Friends in a Movie.
Matt and Sixto.
Sixto, man.
Matt Sixto.
Bye.
Bitches.